There is a question I get more than almost any other. Could I build my own ChatGPT? At home? On my own laptop? And the honest answer is one of the most surprising things in all of artificial intelligence. It is yes, and absolutely not. Both are true at the same time. And by the end of this, you will understand exactly why. And exactly what you could build starting today. First, let's be clear about what we are even trying to build. ChatGPT is what we call a large language model. And underneath all the magic, it really does just one thing. It predicts the next word. You give it some text and it asks itself of all the words in the language which one most likely comes next. Let's make that real. Say you type, "The chai is getting." Now the model weighs every word it knows. Cold? Very likely. Warm? Possible. Bicycle? Almost never. So it picks the likeliest one, cold, and writes it down. Then it does the very same thing again, now with cold added on. The chai is getting cold and... what? Word by word, each one chosen by asking that single question again. That is it. That is the whole engine. Everything it does, answering questions, writing code, telling a joke, is built on that single humble trick. So, to build our own, we need a machine that is very, very good at guessing the next word. But wait, a computer cannot read words the way that you do. It only understands numbers. So the very first thing that happens is that your text gets chopped into small pieces called tokens. A token might be a whole word or just a part of one. And each token is turned into a long list of numbers that captures its meaning. Here is the beautiful part. Words that mean similar things get similar numbers. So chai and tea sit close together, while chai and bicycle sit far, far apart. This is how a machine can begin to handle meaning using nothing but arithmetic. From here on, it is all numbers flowing through numbers. Now here is the first shock. The recipe for that machine, the actual code, is astonishingly short. The design at the heart of every modern AI like this is called a transformer. Its trick is simple to say. To guess the next word, it looks back at all the words so far and decides which ones truly matter. In the chai is getting, it leans on chai and on getting and quietly ignores the little words in between. That focus, deciding what to pay attention to, is its real secret. And you could write its core in just a few hundred lines of code. You could read the whole thing in an afternoon. People have put the entire design in a single file on the internet for free. So if the recipe is short and free, where on earth do the millions of dollars go? The answer is the two things the recipe does not include: the ingredients and the oven. Let's start with the ingredients. To learn language, our model has to read. Not a book, not a library. It needs to read a meaningful slice of the entire internet. Trillions of words. Wikipedia, books, websites, conversations, code. This is the data. And gathering it and cleaning it is a colossal job all by itself. Because the model will only ever be as good as what it reads. Feed it the best of human writing and it learns to write well. Feed it junk and it learns junk. The data is the single most important ingredient of them all. Now the oven. We have our short recipe and our mountain of words. Training is the slow process of turning one into the other. Here is how it actually works. Inside our model are billions of tiny numbers called parameters. Think of them as billions of little dials. At the very start, every dial is set completely at random, so the model is useless. It babbles nonsense. Then we begin the lesson. We show it a sentence from our data, but we hide the last word. And we ask it to predict what's missing. Guesses. We check its guess against the real answer. Here is one real round. We show it the chai is getting. Guesses warm, but the actual word was cold. So we gently tweak the dials so that next time in that exact situation, cold scores a little higher and warm a little lower. That's one nudge. Then we do it again with another sentence. And another. Billions upon billions of times. This is training. Now honestly, it feels almost too simple to work. So picture this. Imagine tuning millions of tiny knobs on an old radio all at once, listening for one clear station. A single nudge does nothing. Still just static. But billions of nudges, guided by billions of real examples, slowly turn that static into music. And the music here is language itself. Grammar, facts, reasoning, even style. None of it programmed in by hand. All of it simply tuned in one corrected guess at a time. But to nudge billions of dials billions of times, you need staggering power. Not one computer. Thousands of specialized chips running day and night, for months on end. The electricity bill alone is enormous. This right here is where the tens of millions of dollars truly go. Not the recipe, the oven. And here is the strangest discovery in this whole story. The bigger these models grew, the more text they devoured, the more they could suddenly do. Abilities that nobody programmed in. Translating between languages. Writing poetry. Explaining a joke. Solving little puzzles. These skills simply emerged on their own from the sheer scale of learning to predict one more word. Nobody fully expected that. And honestly, it remains one of the great mysteries of the field. But even after all of that, you still don't have ChatGPT. What you have is something raw. We call it a base model. It is brilliant at completing text, but it has no manners. Ask it a question and it might just reply with more questions because that is what it saw across the internet. Turning that raw brain into a polite, helpful assistant takes two more steps. The first is called fine-tuning. We show the model thousands of examples of good conversations. Question and a helpful answer. Question and a helpful answer. And it learns the shape of being an assistant. The second step is the clever one. We let the model write several answers and real people rank them from best to worst. The good answer gets a thumbs up. The poor one a thumbs down. And the model learns not just to be correct but to be helpful. And honest. And kind. So the full recipe is really 3 layers. Read the internet. Learn to converse. And then learn from us what good actually means. So, back to our question. Can you build all of this at home? A frontier model like ChatGPT from scratch? No. The ingredients and the oven are simply out of reach for one person. But, and this is the wonderful part, that is no longer the only door. Because the world has changed. There are now powerful models that big companies have trained at great cost and then given away for free. We call them open models. And you can do remarkable things with them today on an ordinary laptop. So here is your real menu. Option 1. You can download a free, open model and run it entirely on your own computer. No internet. No subscription. Your own private AI sitting in a folder. With simple free tools, this takes about 10 minutes. Option 2. You can take one of those models and fine-tune it. Feed it your own writing, your own notes, your own style, and gently teach it to sound like you or to master one specific job. This is how most custom AI is really built out in the real world. And a modern trick lets you nudge just a tiny fraction of the dials so it runs on a single chip in hours, not months. And option 3. For the brave. You can train a tiny one completely from scratch. It will not be ChatGPT. It might just learn to write little stories or baby talk. But you will have built a real working language model with your own hands. And nothing will demystify AI faster than watching your own creation take its first wobbly steps. And what do you need for all of this? Less than you would think. A decent laptop will run a small model. A single good graphics card lets you fine-tune. And the software, the recipes, the open models, the tools is almost all free and waiting on websites like Hugging Face. The barrier is no longer money. It is simply curiosity. So here is the honest final answer. Could you build ChatGPT? The whole thing? No. That takes a small fortune and an army. But your own little AI? One that runs on your machine, learns your style, and answers only to you? Absolutely. Without a doubt. The recipe was always free. And today, for the very first time, the kitchen is open to everyone. The only question left is what you'll cook. This has been Chai and Snacks. Thanks for thinking with me.